New day, new beginnings. Before we get started, hit that like and share button, subscribe button. What I wanted to briefly discuss based on the thumbnail is altered mindsets. And when I say altered mindsets, is the way they have us as black people, thinking differently, looking at ourselves as, being failures. A lot of us do, based on the circumstances we come from. You know, they teach us to go against each other no matter the circumstance. That's how we're taught, is ingrained in us. On top of that, daily we're being injected with negativity and ignorance. You could tell by when you're on TikTok, Instagram, and so forth. You see a lot of the ignorance. You see a lot of undisciplined people. Just clout chasing, no matter the circumstance. And that's meant to be systematically, confusing us. Because a lot of us are confused. That's when you have a certain percent of the population speaking up on the wrongs. We're so altered mentally, we think the wrongs that are being taught is right, but it's not. And being confused systematically is not done by accident, it's done purposely. On top of that, a lot of times when I said black people, we co-sign agendas that are given to us. A lot of these agendas come from the system, is there to undermine us, and sometimes I think we don't see it, and when we do see it, we don't care. And we're teaching our kids the same belligerent mindset. And I think sometimes we gotta, take a stand, because a lot of these agendas, I don't gotta go into it, we know what they are. They undermine us. And when something undermines you, it eats from within. That's just like if someone got a bad soul, a wicked person, eventually it's gonna start eating away at you. But sometimes I think that the way we think, we don't see it. I can't really say we don't see it. I think we just don't care. Another thing too, usually, a lot of us, we sell each other out. We sell our neighbors out, we sell our communities out, and we really don't give a shit about it. Just because you got one person in an area making 80,000, 70,000, we think we hit a lick. But these things, they're substantial, they're small, they're minor. You're still in that same environment no matter how much you make. Because usually the people who make the most money are the most ignorant. And I think we don't see that way. The next thing too, a lot of us accept failure. I said it in the beginning, we accept failure. We think we're nothing because we come from nothing. And I think it's ingrained in us from the blood. I think if a lot of us stand on our square and say, hey, I don't want this no more for my life, I'm gonna change it. Yeah, get up tomorrow and you change it. That's how I always preach, hey man, if you wanna go to school, you go to school, but I think that you should be focused on entrepreneurship, being a businessman or woman, and these are things that can establish you. That's just sometimes when I was reading a book, the Jewish Phenomenon, and the one thing they all say in this book is that, we preach school, we preach education, but they put more of an emphasis on ownership, and that's something I think we gotta do. A lot of us are getting it, and then a lot of us are not, And then the next thing is too, like 90%, of the wrongs, is being done to us. We got this thing that we try to have feelings and have understanding for everybody else, but you can't do that. You have to have feelings and understanding for yourself and your community first. And when I say community, I mean black people. That's where it comes from, because everybody else, they look out for their own. We're the only group, majority of us, who don't look out for our own. And I think that's what's holding us back. And by holding us back, I see that we're not making strides we should be making, because I feel like we all come together, remove these agendas, remove the dislike and everything that we feel, it'd be a totally different story. But we have to change the way we look at ourselves, the altered mindset that was given to us systematically, that was ingrained in us, before even being conceived. You understand? There's something called inequity. Inequity is like a deep, how you can say, it's ingrained in the blood, it's deep, it's like a family tree. It starts from the root. And the only way you sometimes change that is not to distance yourself from your family, but to think different mentally. You know, that's where it starts from. That's why I said altered mindset. Our mindsets need to be altered. We need to be revamped. A lot of us don't want to take the time out to do that. You know, like I said, there's some points in my life where I know, damn, I did wrong, and I'm like, man, I did wrong. What you think I did? I sat down, held myself accountable, and moved forward. You know, you can't never move forward from the situation if you don't have understanding of the situation. Because if you know, there's a lot of people, they got people who still in the same fucking thing from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You saying to yourself, like, what the fuck, move on. You still with this shit? You know, but that's when you gotta have people around you who have a positive mindset, who will tell you, like, hey, you know, you're not a perfect person. I think that's the problem with a lot of us. We think we're perfect, and by a lot of us thinking we're perfect, we're not holding ourselves accountable for our misdeeds. So for every situation, there's two sides. I don't care what no one say. For every situation, is two sides, you know? But that only happens when you start altering your mindset and thinking differently, okay? Think differently. Gain understanding. You understand? Gain understanding. And hold yourself accountable. Allow yourself to be wrong. Being wrong is not an issue. You know, being wrong is not an issue. But when you think you're not wrong all the time, eventually people get tired of that shit. And the worst individual who will get tired of that is your spirit. Your spirit eats you down. No matter what people say, your spirit eats you down. That's why you got some people in their 40s like they're 60. Some people in their 30s like they're 50. You understand? You gotta have young blood, you gotta have a young spirit. Don't listen to all these people talking about, oh, black don't crack. Black fucking cracks. Black cracks. If you whore yourself out, you're gonna start looking worn. If you smoking and drinking, you're gonna start looking old. So this little fable that people tell you, oh, black don't crack, that's the same ignorance that got you in the situation you in. Alter your mindset and change it. Family, before I go, hit that like and share button, subscribe button. Like I said, drop a comment. Let's interact. 1.